Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessa, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Wednesday, July 29th, for the week when we were supposed to take off. Well, there's disclosure going on, my friends, and it's just getting hot. We're getting to the hot days of summer, hot days of disclosure, I tell you. Let's go ahead and take a look and see who we have out there. Hey, this is a live show. We got to welcome in the audience. Okay, who's out there, my friends? Well, he's back at the top of the list. Little Greasy Weasels here, along with Alice W. You two get along pretty well, it looks like. Alpha Breeze is out there, along with Anne Marie. We've got April and Banana Booey. Good to see you too. Eliza Teal's in the chat, along with Elvis and Firefly and Francis. Good to see you guys. Jay from the Galactic Family Podcast is out there, along with Geraldine Durazio, Grateful Benny, Mr. Garcia, or the Garcias, Hudson Valley Ron. Good to see you, J Cat Meow. We got Jeff and Jericho and John Rainiv. Kelly Broughton, those piercing blue eyes, as always. Love to see you, Kelly. Who else we have in the chat? We've got QE DJ, Dark Melinda. Melora is out there, along with Magna, Megan Betts, and Ms. Cussout. That wraps up the M's. Moving on to Psychosomatic Insane and Rainstorm Hunter. We got Scooby Dooby Gooby, but he's here in the back. Be careful. He needs the Scooby snacks. Scott's out there, along with Shelley Montgomery. We got Stank Buns. Along with Steve Mateo, Sweaty Nerds out there, along with Teresa Loves Our President, the Fantasy Football Master, Tank Girl, True Blood, Wasteland Wonder, Yankee 5858, and Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy. Now, where did that name go that I just saw? Oh my God, it's a good one. Okay, here we go. Let's get into the studio. Okay, Stank Buns. I think we've got a video about you out there somewhere. Where's that at?
Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals.
I guess that could be considered stank.
Going right for the jugular, right off the bat.
Well, come on. They'd put it out there. I mean, just like we've got the Greasy Weasel hanging out at the top of the chat with Alice. It's alphabetical.
Awesome.
And if it was a woman we're talking about, it would be Stink Bush.
Oh my God. We're already back to it again.
Yeah, looks like we're doing that show in reverse tonight.
It didn't take
Here,
long.
let's start slurring right now.
Yeah. I wasn't slurring last night, was I?
No, of course. Not.
As much as you were, Daryl.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, happy national security, my friend.
Happy national security.
There you go, Chink. To the audience, to everyone else, whether you're drinking water or taking a puff of your favorite whatever, enjoy. It's time to kick back. It's been a long day. There's been drama going on again. You know, I had no idea what kind of a mess I stepped into with last night's show that we did impromptu.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to be on this night.
No, we weren't. But we got to thank, again, the attorney to Eves. I know you're watching out there somewhere, maybe in rewatch. He's the one said, so when's the title card going to be up? And I looked at it. It's like, okay, I can get this done in 5 minutes. Let's do it. But, oh, my God, I didn't realize how much that UAP-Gerb was going to be going after, well, UAP-Gerb and Ross, the tabloid artist, is going after fucking Lou. And here's the thing to say how they're even going after Lou even more. I have to bring this up. So yesterday's hit piece by Ross was initially called, quote, "The Secret History of America's UFO Legacy Program Explained." Today, it was changed to, quote, UAP researcher. Lou Elizondo's new role is a control narrative. And I also changed the title card to say Disclosure's new gatekeeper. Now, while Ross may wanting to be more professional and turning the rhetoric down, my God, Mike, he has turned the rhetoric on high to turn up the heat for monetization, we call it more monetized tabloid clicks and views.
That's what it is. It's clickbait, and he's going full bore into it. So it looks like it's about to be a bumpy ride because we got a response from Lou after all this shit from yesterday.
Oh, yeah. We'll keep talk about
We'll get
that.
there. We'll get there.
We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
there. We'll get there and stuff. And no, we didn't talk to Lou and plan out any of this stuff. We just know what to do on our own. Just saying.
Right. Right, because we know Lou and we know what's going on and we know these trolls and the games that they play because we've been dealing with it for too long now. So we know how to deal with it when it comes up.
Right.
And we do.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Interesting situation. Yeah, there are some things coming out of this, like the headline said. Yeah, Lou's moved or moving to the DC metro area.
Right.
He's going to be working on Disclosure full time.
Which is a good thing.
Oh, yeah. For all
But the people like this, they're making it out to be a bad thing.
Yeah, Ross is about to get his own reality check on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I swear there has to be some element of the deep state that's trying to get people to shit all over Lou. And they're doing their job at it. They've got to be paying some big bucks to get some of this stuff done, however they're doing it.
They're appealing to these people that are looking to get clicks and attention from the audience.
Oh, the reliable sources who have said.
Right.
Multiple sources have told me. You mean those people?
The senior sources.
Yes. Senior horses?
Not just sources, senior officials.
Okay, senior officials, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, like the ones who don't want disclosure to happen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then everyone out there is fucking complaining that their pussy hurts, and I've got a tanker of Vagisil on the way. I bought the last one because I knew we were going to run out with this whole thing going on. They're all complaining that we're not going to get their version of disclosure. My God, be happy with something. But apparently, beggars can't be choosers. But in this case, it's like it's just getting a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, I'd like to answer that, but under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Okay, Fauci. We'll be covering some of that shit today, too. We need to. What a mess. Man, I listened to listen to Rand Paul's statement on the way in. It sounded really great. Then he got the Democrat schmuck out there, and all he did was complain about the Republicans. But then again, when the Democrats came up and all they did was praise Fauci. It's crazy. Dr. Frankenstein himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pled the fifth. That's right, Doc. 111 times. We even got the clip we'll be playing where, why isn't that appearing? Oh, wonderful. Come on, chat. You can do it.
You can do it.
Hold on. Let's get to Zoom. I probably have it turned off here. That's why we're not getting the chat, because we're not used to seeing the chat in here. Chat capture. Let's try it again. No. Oh, there it is. My perineum is swelling. There you go. Now it's working now. I guess it took someone talking about the perineum swelling. I guess that's the area between the anus and asshole.
The anus and genitals, yes, correct.
Yes, anus and asshole, yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Those are two people you don't want to be between.
Little recap on last night. And of course, the trolls are recording the show and they're probably watching now. Hi, trolls. How you doing? Yes, if you don't go ahead and take those videos down, I will go ahead and get you with a copyright strike from X. I know how to do that. It's pretty effective, too. So that's my official notice and the thank you, please, for, because I took the one video you had posted on X of last night's episode and I turned off embedding. That's why it doesn't show up anymore. Want to watch the show? Come over to Disclosure tonight and watch it over here. How about that? All right, so let's get to Lou. Coming to us fresh this morning. Where is it at? Gee, where would I put it? There it goes. Yuck. Okay, Lou Elizondo. Yes, I know the lighting is blowing out, but there's nothing I can do about it at this point. So let's enjoy the conversation. Hear what he says.
Howdy, folks. Lou here. As you can tell, I'm in my pickup truck, and I'm hauling, what you can't see is a substantially long trailer, almost 50-foot flatbed. For those of you who might...
50-foot flatbed. Probably used, not to haul furniture, but to haul a couple classic Jeeps. Just saying.
Jeeps, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have made a permanent move to the Washington, D.C. area, and I'm still in the process of collecting my things and my items, but I am there as Disclosure is a full-time commitment for myself. I'd like to discuss with you a few things for these short moments. Forgive me, I am at a rest stop right now, so I'm not driving, but I do have to get back on the road. I would like to talk about the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, that everybody thinks that the president has just somehow magically waived and now we don't have an NDA anymore. It is true that the president signed a presidential directive that has not been yet made public, so we don't know exactly what's in there, and I applaud that effort. I think it's fantastic. It's a great move forward. The problem is it doesn't alleviate us from our NDAs. What it does, it alleviates us from our NDAs from discussing this conversation about UAP with none other than who? Aero, which, as you know, I already did. Spoke several times with Aero. And unfortunately, at the time, Sean Kirkpatrick, the former director, didn't do a whole lot of good with that. Secondly, we can also talk to Pursue, which I may already be talking to elements of Pursue. But unfortunately, it has not alleviated my ability to speak to the general public. And this is why it's important that the U.S. government really push hard to continue to pass legislation so folks like myself, the whistleblowers, can come forward and have that conversation, not just internally within the U.S. government, but with you specifically. And so it's important for several reasons, because really there's a lot of confusion right now that, oh, Lou, you don't have an NDA anymore. You can say whatever you want. That's not true. I am still held by my secrecy oath, and until the government gives me the ability to speak openly about it, I can only go through two channels, either Aero, which I wasn't overly impressed with the first time, and neither were my colleagues, and I don't think Congress was either, or Pursue. And like I said, I might already be talking to some individuals there, either directly or indirectly. The second issue was brought to my attention that there was a interview done very recently on Ross Coulthard's Reality Check show under the News Nation moniker. And they had a guest on there that spoke really some incredible outlandish claims that are 180 degrees false and they're just not factual. And so what I want to do is address that real quick. And why is that? Because in this process of disclosure, there are people out there that are trying to hijack and derail this conversation by feeding you false information. People who claim to be on the inside, who know information, they don't. And they're saying things, frankly, I can only suspect for clicks and likes. So please be careful of that. First and foremost, one of the allegations was that ATIP was a limited hangout. Well, let's not forget that in 2009, Senator Harry Reid himself, who was the chairperson for the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence for the U.S. Senate, that was his program. That was his. They paid for it with U.S. taxpayer money, and he even sent a letter in 2009, official memo to the Deputy Secretary of Defense, Lynn, at the time. So if this was a limited hangout that was being paid by U.S. government taxpayer money, then by default you're saying that the sissy itself is a limited hangout, and by extension the U.S. Congress and even the U.S. government. So that simply doesn't make sense. It's factually not correct. It's not true. Not sure where this individual's getting their information, but they're not getting it from people who actually know. Another allegation that was made during this interview was that somehow General Clapper and I had colluded with one another to try to go ahead and create this soft disclosure, and that we were going to go ahead and manage it and control it. That is 1,000% not accurate. In fact, we never had such a conversation, and Jim Clapper and I never meant to have that conversation. So again, it's factually not correct. And the problem is that you have an individual here who is sensationalizing stuff and making stuff up, quite frankly, who has ulterior motives. That's deceiving you. And furthermore, they're getting attention on a national news network that, by the way, I respect, and that's always been a friend of disclosure, and now manipulating them and providing false information to their audience to the point where they're like a tabloid. And I think this is problematic. If you want to know why I've always said I want to destroy ufology and replace it with something better, this is why. Because of bad actors like this, people who come out, they're just interested in clicks and likes, they're only interested in manufactured and false drama, and they're going about doing things that are actually putting disclosure further back than where we are. And this is a problem. I'll share something else with you, too, another anecdote about to show you the character of this individual. Recently, as a month ago, I attended a function in Washington, D.C. This individual happened to be there. I didn't know who he was, but I saw a circle of people surrounding him, and they were berating him. I worried for his safety to some degree, and maybe figured he was getting picked on, and walked over and interjected. And as I pulled him away, I was told, hey, that's the guy that's been talking crap about everybody and been making things up. So I pulled him aside and I said, hey, look, these people are obviously pretty upset with you. If you have any questions in the future, here's my personal cell phone number. Now, this went against my better judgment, but I did it anyways. As you all know, I'm very open and transparent. So I said, look, if you ever have any questions, please give me a call. And obviously he looked at me, he had, but to me it looked like tears in his eyes, and he looked at me and said, oh, okay, sir, yes, I promise I'll do that. I'll make sure that I call you if I have any questions in the future, and I won't do that. And just start spewing off of garbage. And I look and say, good, I appreciate that. We can be friends. I'm happy to, whether you agree with me or not, I'm happy to give you information. Just reach out to me and I can clarify stuff. Well, guess what? A month later, he goes on a network television series and starts spewing off more crap. That was...
For the record, it sounds like Gerb went and recorded these sessions with Ross Colhart right after that, what do you call it? The Disclosure Fund, disclosure.org, had their little bugaboo where they had all that horrible audio going on and stuff. That's when this took place. That's when this thing between Gerb and when he met up with Lou took place. And right after that, that's where he went into the episode where apparently they've cut enough video from that, from several sessions with Gerb, that they've got 2 months of content.
And this is like a month ago, right?
Yes, sir.
Right after the fourth.
Yep.
The fourth tranche was 19 days ago, I think.
Yeah.
So this is before the fourth tranche drop.
Right.
Because when we played it last night, it didn't drop yet in that pre-recorded video.
It says about to drop.
I haven't been pausing this like I wanted to. I guess we could finish playing it through and go back and hit some points, but I know one of the points he was bringing up, Mike, is something we've brought up many times, that what Ross has turned this whole thing into a News Nation. He's turned into a freaking tabloid like you get with Bat Boy and stuff. And from the weekly, what was it, the World Weekly News?
Yeah. The National Enquirer in the U.S.
Yeah. Well, we had the World Weekly News here, too, sometimes.
Yeah.
That was, another one. I think that's where
Or in the UK, the Daily Mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Garbage.
Oh, yeah. Garbage. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, you could use it to line the bird cage for poo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the British tabloids, they give you something extra to
page 6. Yeah.
Page 6 page 6, page 3, one of them. Yeah.
Anybody else doesn't know what that means? Go look it up.
Yeah, if you like British boobies, that's the newspaper to
you blew it.
Yeah.
Crap, that was completely wrong. He never called me once, right? So what kind of due diligence, investigative type skill set does it require just to go out and make up stuff about people, right? And this is why we're having a problem. If you want to know,
here's the thing, though, he may not be making this up. He may be getting it from one of his vetted sources that he has been listening to. What do they call him again, Daryl?
DC Muscle Wolf.
No, not DC Muscle Wolf. the sources in high positions or something like that.
Oh yeah, Ross Colhart, senior officials.
Yeah, senior officials.
Yeah.
If you want to know what's wrong with the UFO community, you have people out there, and by the way, yes, I'm addressing you who lied, to look in the mirror. You're the reason why we're having this problem with disclosure. You're the reason why people don't take this topic seriously, and frankly, you should be ashamed of yourself. I know I'm ashamed for what you did. You should be embarrassed. And the fact that you're talking to people and claiming you have access to stuff you don't, I don't ever remember you in any of the meetings that I was at the Pentagon or at ATIP, quite frankly. In fact, if you want inside information, going to talk to somebody and saying you have an inside source, as far as I'm concerned, that's called gossip. That's not information. And second,
gossip and speculation. That's what Ross runs on, though, all the time.
That's what sells tabloids.
Right.
Yeah, clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
Yep.
And we now know that as a so-called researcher or investigative journalist, if Gerb wanted to talk to Lou and find out, now we know he had a way to do that and chose not to.
That's true.
That's horrible.
That's really true. And meanwhile, you have other whistleblowers like Matthew Brown going ahead and jumping up and down and saying this disclosure, what we're getting, the NDA stuff is horrible. It prevents whistleblowers from talking to the public.
Yeah.
When has the government ever just given blanket immunity for whistleblowers to go and talk about anything they want to the public? Have we ever done that before?
No, never.
It all has to go through DOPSR first.
Right. But he's got half a point. He's not completely wrong. With this disclosure president that we currently have, who during the campaign said that he would reveal all, I think that some steps should be taken for the public to get to the truth on this, and more than the disclosure dots we've gotten so far.
Yeah, give it
time. But that's my criticism. Yeah, I know. I understand.
Everyone's got the same criticism, but I've been looking at this for 6 years. I'm sure a lot of people, and I've been looking at it for a very long time from other aspects of my life. And, something's better than nothing.
I agree with that.
And we're actually moving forward. It's not like the years in the past where it was one step forward, 2 steps back, and we're just stuck in the same place or going back. Because remember, after the UAPTF happened and everything, they came out and said, Air Force is trying to put the genie back in the bottle. That was before we got RO, and, well, they've been doing a pretty damn good job at it.
Oh, they actually have. And if you remember, we've been covering it since that all happened.
Yeah.
And telling the public that, we ain't going to get shit at this point.
I think, Doc in the audience says, I always knew this would be a slow drip of disclosure. I don't think this is a slow drip at this point. If Lou has got this position, like everyone's talking about, I haven't heard verification of anything on that lines. But if he does have this position, remember, he's the only one said that we've got tens of millions of files that we need to declassify.
Right.
He's got a good idea on the scope of what the heck is out there. And hopefully he'll have his hands in trying to move things along because we kind of need it.
We do. And he's the person who would be able to bring that out for us. And hopefully we get it.
Yep.
But people like this and what's going on, I got to tell you, the way things seems to have changed and pivoted from yesterday till today with News Nation, I didn't see that coming. I know News Nation is an advocate for disclosure, or at least they have been up until this point. And now they seem to be going tabloid. They're going full tabloid.
Well, Ross is going full tabloid. I don't think anybody is writing Ross's material but Ross.
Well, he's got his producer and Rob Jones, and he's got people at News Nation. They got him a shiny new office that you can see the Capitol with. So they're not ignoring him either.
No, not at all. The interesting thing that I find interesting is that Gerb has not responded at all to this.
Oh, why would he? What is he going to say? Yes, I had Lou's number. Yes, I refused to call him. Yes, I'm a schmuck. That's the only thing he can say, and I don't think he's going to say that publicly.
All I know, if somebody called me a liar publicly, and I was not a liar, I would immediately respond to that guy. It's public.
True. But if you were a liar and you got called out publicly, you would probably not say shit about it.
You're probably talking to your lawyers right now.
Fifth Amendment, like Fauci. Yeah, works.
One of those issues. Let's get back to Lou on this. Here we go.
I think it's also important to say that as you continue to disparage and provide false information, remember there's real consequences. There are real consequences for your actions and what you are doing. And I would not want to be you right now, because when this all comes out that you're just BSing, I think there's going to be a price to pay. So anyways, folks.
A price to pay, huh?
Yeah.
When it comes out, you mean from the information you're going to potentially declassify from the federal government?
Well, who's now the liar? That's the price you pay, dummy.
Yeah.
What a dummy.
Exactly.
So Jay Boone in the front chat said that on Gerb's Discord.
Yeah,
He said he's going to be addressing what Lou said about him in his next video, I guess, on YouTube.
Oh, good. You know, he gets together with Rob Jones, and some other guy by the name of Kermit or something like that. They do regular live streams on, I think, on Fridays or so like that. It'll be interesting to see where they take it.
Yeah. I'd be very interested to hear exactly what he has to say about what Lou said. Like Daryl just pointed out, if he's lying, then address it.
Yeah. Or if he has information from bad sources, don't go ahead and spew it like Ross until you get everything verified and checked, because otherwise you're running with damage control for what you're saying.
Yeah, you're putting out propaganda, disinformation, and bullshit.
Yeah. Disinfo.
Right.
It's a
That's
sad...
what happens, man. From my understanding, this guy was legit up until all this happened. Like I've never seen any of his videos, but apparently he's very detailed. People comment that they need to take a break watching the video to digest everything.
Yeah, because he uses so many acronyms when he's talking about, and it just goes completely over the audience's head. So smart guy, he's got his stuff there, but I think sometimes you just get pulled into the wrong piece, and maybe that's where he could be, I hope.
I think he's in the same trap as everybody that tries to monetize this. He's got to come up with crazy shit now in order to keep people's attention on him.
Well, I have seen his interviews and I have seen his videos, Daryl, and he comes up with some interesting theories. But has he provided a shred of evidence or any proof on what he's come out with? No, nothing. Not a thing. So, yeah, he's also a good-looking kid, and he's on the young side. So a lot of the audience probably tunes in to listen and watch him, and that's fine for them. But it's the furthest thing from the truth as far as disclosure.
And
I haven't seen any of that.
And Lou's a bit more older. He's a bit more seasoned, a bit calmer, kind of stuff. And people are saying, poor Grush, but I think Grush will have a part in this to a degree. Why not? But if someone could be there for taking the role, I think it's a good choice. Well, it's a good start.
Lou had the response I would be looking for from Gerb. Lou's response is what I would do if I'm being called something that I'm not. I would be angry. Lou's obviously angry. I've never seen him like this before.
Oh, I have. This is Lou being Lou. So this is the real Lou. But, like you said, no one likes being called a liar when they're not, do they, Daryl?
No,
it would piss anybody off.
I think somebody mentioned, there's so many things that are going on here. Like he's looking down and to the left. Scooby or somebody yesterday said, in body language, that's like you're making shit up. Now, I stopped short of agreeing with that because I don't know Gerb's baseline if he normally talks and looks down to the left. But now I'm starting to question that.
Oh, hold on now. He's making claims that Lou is working in a conspiracy with Lieutenant General James Clapper. And Lou came forward and said, no, that never happened. So what is it that you're not sure about? Because it's pretty clear to me that what he said was bullshit.
All right. I think he's about to get to that part right now.
Let me clarify something real quick. Looking down to the left in body language typically indicates internal dialogue or self-talk. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see where this goes. Hold on.
I hope you're well. I didn't want to address this. I hate having to do this because all it does is goad people and more people to want to have conversations. I'm in the middle of a drive across country. Last thing I need to do is, deal with this headache. But I think it's important enough to address it and address it head on and let you know the truth. I've always been committed to the truth. Hopefully most of you know that by practice. And be wary. Be very careful of people who are trying to paint a false narrative and then try to get attention for it. Very, very disingenuous. Very disingenuous. So here I am, folks, once again. And Ross, that goes for you, man. I love you, buddy. But you have my phone number. You can call me anytime. You know that. So if you have any questions of who I am or what I'm doing, that's never stopped you before from calling me. Just give me a shout. We have to be careful with media here, especially News Nation, who's a friend to Disclosure. they've got a reputation. A lot of people listen to them. So we've really got to do our due diligence in making sure that the information that is being provided is accurate. And I do appreciate what you're doing, Ross. But please, for the love of God, be more careful with who you decide to have on your program.
Well, I think Ross is really happy to have someone on his program because it's not just him and producer Megan.
Right.
Asking Ross the questions.
Right. And he's got content that's controversial. And that brings the ratings up for him.
Oh, you mean like the bear in the room?
Yeah, that fucking bear.
Yeah. Uh-oh, you broke up there for a second, Mike.
Oh,
Yeah,
I said, yeah, the bear instead of the elephant that should be in that room.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That is true. Absolutely true. So it's just one of those things. And of course, X is all completely lit up on this thing. But let me go back to this part here and we can react more on Lou as he's talking about some of these things because I kind of didn't pause it like I usually did because I wanted people to hear it. But let's get back to make sure we didn't miss anything.
News Nation moniker. And they had a guest on there that spoke really some incredible outlandish claims that are 180 degrees false
So I guess we'll have to get lists of the, I guess it's all the stuff that he's going and pasting on Lou. What basically Lou is saying here right now is it's all that stuff is false.
Yeah.
All the speculation that he's got from bad sources.
Right. And someone in the front chat just said that Megan, his producer for Ross Coulthard, is off doing her own thing. So nobody seems to last that long working with Ross. Interesting.
Yeah. I noticed she was doing some coverage of some stuff lately that didn't have to do with the disclosure. So.
Right. So she got the fuck out of Dodge, it sounds like. Good for her.
Yeah. Let's see if Rob Jones goes ahead and starts taking her role now when Gerb's not around. You never know.
No, you're right. You never know. We'll see how long he lasts.
Exactly.
So is there a new one of these today? A new Gerb Coulthard video?
No, there isn't.
It was the one we covered last night.
They've gone and taken their stuff and they've pushed it up a bit. Let me go ahead and get across to X here so we can go ahead and cover more of the stuff that we've got going on.
I guess I'm surprised that Lou is so nice still to Ross Coulthard. When Ross Coulthard has been pushing this narrative that Gerb is spewing, probably where Coulthard heard it for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's right. For Ross, it's all about the clicks. Trying to get, whatever the fuck he's doing because, this is crazy. But I'm glad Lou, set the record straight. But he's being nice about it, though.
He's being nice.
Wow.
He's always, that's a good trait. That's like Thomas.
Yeah, it is.
Thomas treats people nice even though they act like idiots sometimes.
Yeah. If you look at the back, even Ryan's back now. It's been a week. He's
hey, Ryan.
How's it going, Ryan? Welcome back. Now he's having a voice. All right. So, this one coming from Matthew Brown, the whistleblower from Immaculate Constellation. I mean. Let's get this one up here for the audience to go ahead and see it. All right, here we go on this one. Important announcement from Representative Burleson. The current directive from the president does not free whistleblowers to speak to the public. I think this has been said so many times. It's like,
oh my God! Since it first was announced, we've been saying this.
Yes. RO and ODNI are hostile UAP whistleblowers and cannot be trusted. But wait a minute, they said you can go to pursue as well. And that basically means, Matthew, you can go talk to Lou probably. If you have a credible and urgent need to blow the whistle on the government or private sector wrongdoing related to UAP, protect yourself first, be cautious, and consider Representative Burleson as a trusted ally. Independent congressional oversight. So I guess there's this piece that came off Representative Burleson. We may have covered it. Let's not there. If it's not here, is it? Let's go to the is this press release on his site again? God damn it. I have to go edit the page. Hold on. Oh, where the fuck is it? Oh, come on. Okay, I want to get rid of this too. There we go. Ding. Oh, you fucking A. God damn it. You know what? I'm going to leave it as a mobile web page because we can read it easier. How about that? Let's get into it. So Representative Burleson, this is dated July 29th. That would be today from his press release. Washington, D.C., Congressman Eric Burleson from Missouri, the Show Me State, released the following statement regarding President Trump's directive waiving certain non-disclosure agreements for individuals with information related to UAP. So in light of President Trump directing the Department of War and the intelligence community to waive prior non-disclosure agreements signed by individuals who have relevant information regarding UAP, if you are a current or former government employee or contractor interested in taking advantages of this directive, I am offering my office's assistance in contacting and getting your information to any agency. Principal Ryan, your hand is up.
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize to everybody what happened the other day. I was completely wrong. It was inappropriate, and I'll save that for after the show. I'll take it. I'll own it on the chest.
We got you. We heard it before.
Okay.
Thank you for handling your time
well.
Guys.
I love you guys. I really do.
Love you too, Ryan. Absolutely.
I'll talk to you more about it after the show, how wrong I was.
Absolutely.
But, as far as Gerb is concerned, my opinion is that he's too young and inexperienced to be able to handle, like, let's say he has sources that he claims that he has. I don't think he has the experience level or the intelligence agency level to be able to vet these people properly and handle what he's being told. He's young, and he would be an easy target if I was to. If somebody
he's probably in his
30s
at least. He's not that young.
I know, but he doesn't have the experience. No,
Gerb.
I don't think Gerb knows what he's getting into here. That, he doesn't. I don't think he understands how to vet people properly. And I think people tell him stuff, and he comes right out and says it. He doesn't vet any.
We don't know. We're speculating about him as much as he speculates about Lou right now.
Yeah, you're right. But he has done some good work in the past. Yeah. I just completely disagree with what Gerb is saying here, and I agree with Lou 100%. Well, so I'm going to let you guys go. And again, I love you guys.
Love you too, my friend. Let's get back to it. So Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, Aaron Lucas, has stated that the Office of Director of National Intelligence will soon issue guidance to ensure that the intelligence community implements the president's directive. Remember, they've said you can go to Pursue or you can go to ARO. Nowhere is the OVNI saying that you can come and talk to them yet, as we're getting from, what's his name here? Oh, I don't have it here. Let's get back to that one. Coming from Matthew, son of Abraham, saying RO and OVNI are hospital and cannot be trusted. Well, hopefully people can trust Pursue. Let's get back to this. Independent congressional oversight is a critical part of UAP disclosure, and we are uncertain whether the abrogation of NDAs will apply to testimony received by Congress before the referral to the executive branch. It really sounds like Stephen Miller, who's the guy who's heading this up, is really cool on this, and they're kind of like keeping the text hidden away, and it's a very fluid situation. So therefore, at this time, if you're thinking of speaking to the executive branch pursuant to this directive, Burleson strongly recommends that in addition to an attorney, this is, what's his face saying again, strongly recommend in addition to an attorney that you request that is Burleson, either I or another member of Congress to be present with you. Waiving UAP NDAs is something I've been calling for the administration to do, and I hope to understand the procedures established by the president's directive soon. I'm calling on the OVNI to issue guidance publicly. In the meantime, my office will serve as a resource to be shepherding qualified individuals through the process. So they're going to help them get to the process. They're going to help them get through there. They need to go ahead and get the printed document to figure out where everything is headed, and it's just a matter of, taking it a day at a time, one day at a time.
With Valerie Bertinelli.
Yeah, I know.
Snyder.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Look at you, Snyder. Right. No publicly confirmed age for UAP Gerb, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you could probably say, Mel, kiss my grits.
Nobody knows his personal details.
Oh, Sammy?
Sammy.
I
But
wouldn't
you know
agree with
what?
that.
They tried to say that you, by saying his first name, you dox him fuck during the video. Actually,
Ross
calls him Sam.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Nothing to dox, though. I mean, nobody knows anything about the guy.
No, who cares? I don't. Seriously, I don't.
Except he went to Colorado State University and his research commentary work. That's about it. Engineering degree from Colorado State
You know,
University.
even someone went out and posted his LinkedIn page on X.
Right.
But we're not going to bring that up. No need.
Yeah.
Sure, if people want to find it, they absolutely can. So let's now get back to him. So we've got current whistleblowers complaining that they can't bring everything out. Well, that's status quo for disclosure so far, and I don't think that's going to change. Again, it comes down to people saying, oh my God, we're not getting my version of disclosure. At least disclosure is moving forward, right?
Something is better than nothing.
Yeah. And if you want to wait till nothing, maybe we'll never get anything.
Right.
All right. Wait a minute. I had to see that. Okay, there we go. Let's move on. I got Matthew there, paradoxically smug. We got some more UFOs. I'm just taking a look on what's going on. Need to see that. God, you know, there was a picture of Trisket, the Jan McLaughlin, I think her name is. Maybe she's on X. I follow her. She's got a lot of health problems. She's in and out of the hospital all the time, and she's always posting pictures of her dog. And sure enough, I was scrolling through the stuff through my feed, and there she was. All right, so where is some of this stuff here? We got the Fauci things we'll be getting to. Okay, I think for the most part, everyone on X is kind of there, and we know that there is a ton of shit going on right now everywhere in all the different live streams. Everyone's covering the story that we got last night. So for once again, Mike, we are ahead of the schedule.
Oh, we usually are, Thomas. Nothing new with that.
Yeah.
So good. That's fine. We'll deal with it. We always do.
Yeah.
Eventually, the truth always comes out. And Lou made sure today that it would, and he did.
Yeah, he did. He's got something on the way. We're going to get there. So let's go ahead and jump out of here. Let me get into my bookmarks. Yeah, because we had other stuff going on today, didn't we, as well?
Yeah, we did.
So didn't we have the Fauci hearing go on today with COVID?
Yes, we did.
Thomas, under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke the right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Yeah. So we got a takedown here by Josh Hawley. You want to hear that one?
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
What color is the carpet?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hold on. Let's get this larger. Let's get into the... Oh, fucking A. God damn it. Here we go. Play this one.
And this relates to UFOs because...
God damn it. What the hell is it doing here? Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, nothing says honesty like taking the fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color is the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know. As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege.
Oh, this is why they're threatening to go ahead and take and call him in contempt of Congress. That seems pretty clear, my friend. Oh, yeah. Okay, we all lived through this shit. I'm playing this for you guys because there is stuff to talk about, but this is important because we all went through this shit, and this is the fucking Dr. Frankenstein who put it all together. Yes,
yeah,
we'll play it when the attorney gets kicked out. We got that clip too.
you'll soon see an Air Force general, hopefully, sitting in that same seat with the same response, asking the same questions, because they don't want to tell you what they did in regards to disclosure.
Yep.
You know that. Your lawyer's sitting behind you now, shifting nervously in their chairs. They know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people. But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic, you got rich, didn't you? You got rich while people were dying, hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end, and you were getting rich. And not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally. Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic, didn't you? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
You remember Greg Folkers? Who was that?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Your chief of staff is the answer. Do you remember Patricia Conrad? Who was that?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
She was your personal assistant. And what were these individuals doing?
Maybe they should waive, maybe they can say if he's doing this stuff, they pull his frickin' auto pen immunity that took care of all crimes going back to 2014. If he wants to exercise his immunity and not talk about it, that means he should then dismiss his pardon.
I think Rand Paul's got a different plan that doesn't involve the auto pen. That's probably more sound than that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Doing in the depth of the pandemic in November of 2020, when millions of Americans were suffering from COVID, what were they doing? I tell you what they're doing. Folkers was on your behalf soliciting and gathering information for a cash award. Let's look at it. We've got his email right here, right over my shoulder. Folkers says, I'm working on this nomination for the Dan David Award for Fauci. We need to beef up the COVID part. Do you have language in the can that you could share that delineates how we responded in new ways to COVID? He sends this to multiple federal employees. What was the Dan David Award? Do you remember, Doc?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
It was a $900,000 cash award. $900,000 cash award. And he got it because he used federal employees to get it. And this wasn't the only award, was it, Dr. Fauci? In fact, you applied for and received at least 8 other federal cash prizes on federal time using federal employees and federal resources. Here they are over my shoulder. Besides the Dan David Award, you've got the Partnership for Public Service, you've got the Adelson Prize, you've got the Smithsonian Award, you've got the National Academy of Medicine's Award, you've got the CDC Foundation. In fact, you turned your staff into a full-time application machine. You actually wrote to people and said, do you think maybe I'd qualify? And you got cash for all of this. And it wasn't just 1 or 2 employees, was it? In fact, you used 8 separate federal employees on federal time using federal resources to solicit cash awards. Isn't that true?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Here they are right over my shoulder. Here's all of them. The people that you use, federal employees, so that you could go and get cash money. And the most hilarious part is that you weren't content to even dragoon them into applying for all of these cash awards. You then had them go out to the ethics agencies and ethics watchdogs and demand that you be able to get the money. That's right. We've got it in your emails. Your staff and employees on federal time, using federal resources, being paid with federal dollars, are soliciting cash for you. And then they're turning around and saying to the agency, we don't want just an answer. We want to get to yes, because Fauci wants the money. He wants it. We want to get to yes, and yes takes time. This is your chief of staff again, using federal email to pressure the agency's own ethics people so that you could get money, so that you could get rich. And it violated the law, didn't it, Dr. Fauci? Didn't it? It violated the law, didn't it?
It
is a question. You can answer. Go ahead.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Federal law, as you very well know, prohibits the solicitation of cash awards or other personal benefits for federal employees. And it certainly prohibits using your own employees to do this. 5 CFR section 2635-205B. It says it right there in black and white. You cannot use federal resources, federal dollars, federal employees, federal offices, federal email, federal time to solicit cash awards. And you did all of it. And the worst part is thousands of people were dying while you were doing it. You were supposed to be the nation's doctor and you're playing one on TV. But this is what you were doing with your time. Isn't that true?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
It's going to be like 100 times, Daryl.
Yeah.
100 times more than national security.
I can certainly see why. You know what I can't quite figure out is
every time he says,
why you were so obsessed with it. Because you're already rich. I mean, and your scheme worked here. I mean, your net worth now is north of $12 million. You got over $1 million in cash awards during COVID, during a 12-month, 24-month span during COVID. $1 million you knocked down in cash money using federal resources. Now you're worth more than $12 million. You've got a pension that in its first year paid out north of $400,000 a year. 1 million people dead, you're getting rich. 1 million people dead, you're using federal employees to get cash awards for you. 1 million people dead, and you're here taking the fifth because you don't want to admit that what really happened in all that time was a multi-month, multi-year course of self-dealing. Isn't that true, Dr. Fauci?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah, well, silence is admission. And here's the real thing. At the end of the day, it wasn't just about the money, really, was it? It was really about a power trip. I mean, through all of this, you want to be the most famous scientist in the world. You were so focused on getting every award and every drop of cash that you could, all because you wanted to be on TV. You wanted to be the sun god of science. You wanted to be the guy who was in charge of it all. You wanted to lambast Trump. You wanted to make sure that nobody else stole your spotlight. You wanted to be the guy. You had time to sit for InStyle magazine. Here's what you were doing with your time. You could sit for InStyle magazine, but you can't answer questions for the American people. You could sit for InStyle magazine, but you're here taking the fifth. You could sit for InStyle magazine and get $1 million in cash awards, but now the cat's got your tongue. I bet he does. I tell you what, here's my conclusion from all this. This was really all about you the whole time. Somewhere along the way, you lost your way. You may have been a good public servant at one time. I don't know. But I can tell you from reading your emails now, from looking at what you did, how you used your employees, somewhere along the line, it became all about you. You became a narcissist and a megalomaniac and a liar. And you've lied to the American people, and you've lied to this body. And you've disgraced your profession by doing it. You called yourself the most famous scientist in the world. You've done more to harm science than anybody in my lifetime. And I hope you'll go home and write that in your diary.
Boom.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
On the advice of counsel.
You know, here's one more important fact about Fauci that most people don't know. He was the highest paid employee out of all 4 million government workers, including the president. And he still had to go out and grab all this cash. I mean, the guy is a greedy motherfucker. I mean,
I'd like to exercise my Fifth Amendment under the Constitution. And how do you say it, Daryl?
How do you say it? I got it. Oh, bless you, Mike.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right.
It's true. It's true.
It is. Anyway, highest paid government employee, more than the president.
He did. Yeah, he got paid well more than the president at that time. Much more.
80 grand more. He made 480 grand.
You need it.
And the president makes 400.
Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
There you go. All right. And our next one. Someone wanted to hear Senator Marino?
Yes, absolutely.
That and the lawyer getting tossed out.
We'll hear that. We'll get to that one next. Here's our next one. Again, you need to be aware of this, folks. I missed this. I was at work. Pretty much everyone else was at work. You're going to see some little news clips here and there from the news, but this is for as much as it is for me and the friends and on the show and the audience. It's worth to know what the fuck went on and the bullshit that's going on. This isn't partisan politics. The Dems want to put it that way. No, this is the Dr. Mengele or worse.
But this is a good. I mean, we're talking about UFOs, right? That's the UFO topic. But this does give you a great idea as to how corrupt some people can be in government. And this is all out in the open. It's not like this was done behind closed doors.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's the next one.
This is good. People should hear it. Fauci's a crook.
Oh yeah.
People should hear it.
Hey, we got a super chat coming in. It's the it's two clip from. That is from Shogun Orta. You just sent me a super chat. I saw that here as I was looking through everything else. Let me go ahead and bring that up. And the other way here as well. There we go. Shogun Orta. It's actually from the movie Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is the name of the movie.
And the actress who said that is Madeline Kahn.
Oh, yes. It's
the
true.
So great.
And it's better than me saying it's true.
Right.
True.
All right, here we go.
We'll echo Senator Johnson's comments about your opening statement, Mr. Chairman. I think it was dead on. Very, very well done. Mr. Fauci, do you know who David Schertler is?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. What does the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution say?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
No, I'm just asking you what it says.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
I'm going to give the Constitution to my aide. He'll bring it over to you so you can have it for future reference. I think it's something that every American should know what the Constitution says. Do you know who wrote the Fifth Amendment?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
So you're invoking a right that you don't know who wrote it or what it says. Is that correct?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Wow. All right, let me tell you who David Schertler is for the audience because he was ejected by the chairman. He's a high-profile criminal attorney. He's represented some really great people, like Senator Bob Menendez. Maybe that's somebody who my Democrat colleagues may remember took gold bars as bribes from the Egyptians. And there's an article here in the Washington Free Beacon that talks about why you would hire a guy like David Schertler. And the comment is, if you're in deep shit, that's who you call. Do you feel like you're in deep shit?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Clearly, what you think today is that somehow you're above reproach. Somehow you feel like you don't need to be treated like a normal American.
Well, we could.
Can you do me a favor in the audience and stand up if during the time of the COVID pandemic, you were called a racist for calling the virus a Wuhan virus or the China virus? If you thought the 6-foot rule was total crap, if you thought the vaccine wasn't something that you should take, if you thought it was outrageous the way the mask policy was rolled out, if you were fired from your job for not taking that vaccine, including members of the military, if you thought closing schools was catastrophically stupid, and that you thought that during these times saying these things made you somehow a lesser human being.
Under the advice.
Dr. Fauci, can you just turn around and look at the people behind you? You're not willing to do that? That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyers, not a question. It's a request. All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely shamed for saying what we know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them? That's a question. Are you able to look at them? You can sit down in the audience. There was a mom in Ohio during the depth of the coronavirus pandemic, decided to go to her high school football game for her son. They hadn't been out much. The kids had been learning at school, and then the school got shut down. They hadn't really gotten much out of that education, as any parent knew that remote learning was no learning at all. But it was a Friday night. Her son wanted to go watch her buddy go play football. So they went to the stadium. They sat alone, far from everybody else, just a mom, a dad, a few kids. They didn't feel they needed to wear masks because it was stupid, because they were outside. They all live together. They're not near anybody. Dr. Fauci, do you know what happened to that mom and that family? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
They were dragged out of that stadium and arrested. Those policies were put in place because you had moronic politicians that listened to the words of a megalomaniac who was more interested in having met a Kardashian than the suffering of the American people, and that is you. Your advice to communities like that, to idiotic politicians who enforce those rules, arrested that mom for watching a football game with her own family outside. When that story broke, I said to myself, I cannot stand idly on the side and watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people. I will make it my mission to make certain that every single one of those Democrats who did that will see that clip over and over and over again. Because there is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
Get your drink ready.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So you won't apologize to the military members who Joe Biden summarily dismissed from the military for not taking the vaccine?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the business owners that lost their business, shattered their lives, and they'll never recover?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the moms who had to force their infant children, 2, 3, 4-year-olds, to put masks on, and what that did and how that traumatized those kids?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the family members of the people who died because they took your advice and not only got the first vaccine, but the 5, 6 other boosters that they did not need?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to that mom from Ohio for being arrested for watching a football game with her family?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So you didn't know who wrote the Fifth Amendment. It's James Madison. Lived in this town. I can only wonder what he would think of somebody like you invoking his writings to shield culpability for the actions that you took. It's no secret why you have to hire the biggest dirtbag attorney on the planet, because of what you did. I hope you're paying him well. And I hope that one way or the other, somewhere, sometime, you answer for your crimes.
Thomas, did you know that 6 months after Fauci got the mRNA? Yeah, mRNA shot, he had a cardiac infarction.
Yeah.
A blood clot.
Yeah. Like Alice is dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get the shot, you get the results. It doesn't go away. I had long-term COVID for over 2 fucking years. I was on prednisone daily. I used to take it halfway through the show. It fucking freaked me out even more than usual, but that's okay. We're past all those days and all the shows are off, but it, and then I was on methotrexate, which is a form of chemo, for a fucking year and a half. And I was finally like, fuck, I just need to try and stop one, because it looked like if I ever had an interruption in my prednisone that I was on to deal with the inflammation and that was going on from the COVID, I would see a flare. But the methotrexate not, and thank God I put my foot down what the doctor said. Okay, I've stopped this stuff and I'm not getting it on. I don't think it's doing shit. Let's experiment and see what we can find out. And my mom had one of her heart valves destroyed by this shit. It was horrible. Hello, Alice.
Hi guys, did I hear my name? I had the sound down a little bit. But
we were just saying, because you've had like some cardiac infarction. That's kind of, I know, similar to what you've been dealing with, blood clots in the heart and stuff. And it's Fauci had the same thing, and he got his from probably the COVID shots.
Did he have blood clots in the heart? I hadn't heard of that yet.
Yeah, that's what.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump took a real shot, or do you think he took a fake shot?
Oh, he got it.
I wonder, because, if everybody knew it was kind of not a good thing, I wonder if he just did.
That's a good question. Someone needs to ask him that sometime. Let's get a hold of Peter Ducey. Maybe he'll ask the question.
Any points as good, any ideas as good as another, but thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you stopping in.
Sure.
All right. So
Trump actually got COVID at one point.
Yeah.
And when that happened, they took him to Walter Reed and they gave him ivermectin, which seems to have cleared it right up. So I don't think he took the shot.
Senator Marino, and I need to go and find this one. I think I've got it. Who was, I'll just go with Fauci, F-A-U-C-H-I, lawyer.
Thomas, can we do a poll that's how many COVID shots did you get? 0, 1, 2, or 3
yes,
plus?
Yes, please do it.
All right, starting now.
It's a good idea.
You got 2 minutes and 51 seconds of it, 1:29, 2 minutes and 45 seconds of him going up, because this is the one where he goes,
That'll include 0 as an answer.
2 minutes
and I'd like to follow up on that guy over in the UK. that was selling shots. He went in, I think he had 98 shots. He was selling them the papers for $1,000 a piece.
Idiot.
I wonder how he ended up.
Give him 5 years. Let's see if he's still alive.
Has it been? I think it's been about 5 years, hasn't it?
Let's see how much cancer the guy gets over time.
Thomas, can you put the poll in the...
Oh, sorry about that. Yes, I was dealing with trying to find stuff. But all right, so let's go ahead and see where our audience takes us. Where the hell am I going to put this now? Oh, yeah, I need to bring it over here. Let's go ahead and make sure it's up for our audience to go ahead and see. Okay, there we go. How many COVID shots did you get is the PII question of the night. All right. Was it? I'm at 0 as well. I guess I could come and vote from somewhere. I don't know where. Not this one. Oh yeah, I can get to it. God damn it. Hold on. It's stuck with an ad. I know I can vote at least. Here we go.
Here in the Pacific Northwest, you got
stop the ad, go away. And the ads are turned off, by the way. How many COVID shots did I get? I got 0. There we go. And you can actually vote without even being a member of the channel. How about that? So if you don't want to chat, there you go.
Look at that, 113 votes already. I got
113 votes, yeah. All right, Google, set a timer for 1 minute, please.
Yeah, I got 1. I regret it.
Okay, Google, set a timer for 50 seconds.
Have you guys ever designated the J&J, which was a different type, not an mRNA shot?
Johnson & Johnson one, yeah, but that one they found it killed people as well, so they pulled it pretty quickly. With 38 seconds left to go, 121 votes. So far, the most popular is 40% of our audience did not get a shot. In second place at 29%, people got 2. If we had 3+ was at 16%, tied with 1. Sapphire Elf, your finger is up. Does that mean you got 1?
Yes. Did you know? No, I don't have 1. I have 0. But we were talking about Johnson & Johnson. Did you know their talcum powder is now proven to cause bloody cancer?
Yeah, it was the one they had before. Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, that there was lawsuits against them about 4 years ago, I think it was first announced. The person who I know used it all the time and deserved it, unfortunately, has not had cancer yet.
You deserve cancer, my friend. That's something I do.
I think this daily when I wake up. Who deserves more cancer today?
All right, there we go. Go ahead and end this here. We got the polls come to a close. I'm sorry, but we've let it go more time than we usually go. So far, how many COVID? There we go. There's the results, folks. It's pretty. I fucked that up. Did I? I can't undo it. All right, so yeah, those are the final numbers. I'll go with it.
I think 2 people that got the shot once, and that's me and somebody else.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay?
No, me, Sweaty Nerd.
Oh, Sweaty, okay.
I didn't get it. My mom got it twice, and the second one was the one within 24 hours of my mom getting the shot, she couldn't walk. Within 48 hours of getting the shot, she could barely talk anymore. It totally fucked her up in a bunch of different ways, and then she had more problems going on with her heart and other stuff. She broke a hip, Went out to go ahead and take pictures of the planetary fucking alignment with her camera, and she went to go sit down on her recliner, but it wasn't there, and she fucking went right to the floor. And she broke her hip. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I only had 1 of those shots, so nothing has happened to me. I only took 1. I had to because of traveling, so it was,
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Ain't that happening? So.
One thing, though, I had Alexa. And I had Google Home put in the house for her. I put it in there. I brought in there, set the whole thing up. She used it all the time. I'd even pop in on Alexa when she wasn't there and turn on the television set with Google Home and have something running on the television set when she got home. And she was like, "That's nice. It's like you were here waiting for me." And I was, but she wasn't there. But either way, when it happened, she finally called me when something went wrong. She actually called me on Alexa for the first time. Oh yeah, I did this and everything else, and I was able to get on the phone, getting everything taken care of. When the ambulance or the medical people got there and all the different stuff happened to get her there to take care of her and stuff, nobody knew I was on Alexa. So I said then, okay, blank. I'm not going to say it now because I don't want to play here. Play the final countdown.
Final countdown.
And then it was coming together. They all started laughing and looking around like, what the hell is that coming from and stuff. And as they were getting ready to go ahead and push her out the door, the whole chorus kicks in and the whole bit. You got to have fun with it, you know?
You need to get yourself a party for your 21st booster shot.
Yeah, that's nasty.
My 21st booster shot party is what we want.
Yeah, well, glad we don't have those. And now I think there may be some better stuff with them. Yeah, I was looking for it over here. Let's get back to the studio where we're at. Yeah, I guess we're going to look at, we're going to look at Sweaty now. No, not at all. Let me get back to this.
Sweaty, don't stand up. Nothing worse than the cucumber.
Okay, so now we've got
sweatpants.
the next clip that I was looking for, and I just remembered after going through the story about Mom again. We've got a post here from Fox News covering it's the longest clip that goes on for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. This is where Rand Paul gets pissed at Fauci's lawyer and kicks him out of the fucking room. Something else I'll say. Because I was on these drugs to turn off my immune system, I couldn't go out in public. So when my mom was dying and going through all this shit, I wasn't allowed to fly because of the meds that I was on. So when she got to the point, and did I see her ahead of time? No, but I was on the phone with her still all the time. Did I get to her before she died? No. Do I connect with her after she died? No. Have I gone, I guess, to see the gravestone? Not really, but what's the point?
Oh, you and I had the same mom. That's right.
Yeah. She was also known by sometimes we'd think of her as like Mommy Dearest.
Yes.
All right.
Love you, Mom, but not on Earth.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to it. All right. Let's play it. This is Fauci's lawyer getting escorted from the room, kind of, maybe. I think. Let's get to it. Here we go.
To get the law to obstruct an investigation of Congress, there will be repercussions to your refusal to testify today. Senator Peters.
Hold on.
That's it. That's where the lawyer starts talking.
You're not recognized. You're not recognized. If you are unruly, you will be removed from the proceeding. You are not recognized, and you are not recognized, sir. Sir, you are not recognized. You are not recognized. Security, we'll hold off. But you will respect these proceedings. You were told not to sit at the table. You insist on sitting at the table. And we told you you would not be recognized. You are not invited here for testimony, sir. You are being disruptive. Would you behave this way in a courtroom? No, because the judge would put you in jail. I can't do that today, but I can have you escorted from the premises. So I would say, sir, sit quietly and don't say another word. I said, sit quietly. You are not recognized. Another word and you're gone.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to hear what the attorney has to say.
He is not recognized by the committee or the chair. If he speaks again, he will be removed from the room. This testimony is from Anthony Fauci. This is not a game with his lawyers. He can advise. His lawyers can give him advice. He's got a half dozen here. They're all allowed to talk to him.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
But the attorneys are not recognized. In fact, the attorney was told not to sit at the table, and he's not obeying that recommendation. There's a row behind you, sir. That's where you were told to sit, and you're not. And now you're disrupting the proceedings. And so, look, this is the way Anthony Fauci wants to be remembered. For a lawyer not listening to the rules. That's the way you want to be remembered, and that's what you're going to do. You are not recognized, sir. Security, please remove him from the room.
That was fucking awesome.
I just dear.
He's got to take care of his purse. His man died.
Let the record state that Dr. Fauci will still have the advice of the other half a dozen attorneys that he brought along today.
Yeah. It's another one. Jesus Christ, there's so much shit going on. Let's, God. What other ones, Daryl? Let me go ahead and see what I can dig up here. Hold on.
I think that was it from that. I mean, I'm sure there's more that I but it didn't take long, this hearing, because they knew they were going nowhere.
All right. Someone's got the opening statement. Hopefully this is the full one. I listened to this one on the way to work. Now, the Democrat one isn't, well, we'll just leave it at that. The Democrat one is what you would expect from the Democrats, potentially. It's sad, but here we go.
While privately, he was well aware of a mountain of evidence suggesting the virus originated in the lab. The American people deserve answers. The American people deserve to know why dangerous research was funded by NIAID in a totalitarian country in a lab that lacked acceptable safety standards. The decision to fund dangerous gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China, will likely go down in history as perhaps one of the worst public health decisions. Frankly, the American people deserve an apology. I hope today, Dr. Fauci...
How about the people of the world? The people of the world, you know what I mean?
The countries that allowed this testing to go on.
Well, the thing is, we gave them the money and told them what to do, and they did it and escaped. So we're kind of like, culpable for everybody who died and all the shit everybody in the planet went through. We can blame it on China, but really it's this man. We're letting him get away with fucking murder. Genocide, really.
Population control.
Yeah.
Will come clean. Admit it was a mistake to fund dangerous research in China. Admit that the risk of this dangerous research exceeded any possible benefits. Ask forgiveness and pledge to help our government devise safeguards so a man-made epidemic never happens again. Instead of an apology, you have for years avoided responsibility. Regarding the lockdowns, you argue that you did not personally issue every lockdown order, close every school, or impose every mandate. But officials across the country invoked your authority to justify these decisions. And you presented your recommendations not as judgments open to debate, but as dictates of science itself. Your own words demonstrate that you understood the influence you exercised. On March 14th, 2020, you wrote that the task force recommendations were driven by me, yourself, Deb, and CDC. The next day you wrote that you had convinced Mayor Bill de Blasio to close the New York City schools, so you were involved. That same night, Governor Gavin Newsom's chief of staff told you that the governor had decided to close California schools, bars, and restaurants after watching you on television. Presidents, governors, mayors, school boards, corporations, and Congress all bear responsibility for the decisions they made. The COVID lockdown, however, could never have been inflicted without you aiding and abetting the crime. Children lost education. Small businesses built over a lifetime disappeared. Patients delayed cancer screenings and other medical care. Families were separated from dying relatives. Workers were ordered to accept a medical procedure or lose their jobs. Worship assembly, employment, education, and travel were restricted in the name of science. While you did not impose every restriction, you used your public authority to justify them. While you concluded publicly that COVID occurred naturally, your private record tells a different story. In early 2020, your hand-picked virologist warned that the virus appeared to have been manipulated in the lab. In a conference call concerning the origin of the virus, all but two of the participants believed deliberate insertion was possible. Your concern was not merely theoretical. That same week, you led an urgent effort to determine whether your own agency had funded the research related to these experiments that were now under suspicion. Hours later, your assistant reported that the Wuhan experiments had indeed been reviewed and approved by the NIH. Those were not the actions of officials who believed that a research-related origin was an absurd conspiracy theory. They were the actions of officials urgently trying to determine whether their agency funding was connected to the research under discussion, connected to the pandemic. You could not hide that your agency had funded the Wuhan research or your long history of defending gain-of-function research. The only alternative left was to argue that COVID-19 did not originate in the Wuhan lab. You were not a detached observer. You had an institutional interest in the public believing that federally funded research had nothing to do with the pandemic. It was a conflict of interest from the very beginning. The authors of the proximal origin of SARS-CoV-2 privately had serious doubts about a natural origin. Within days, though, they flipped, and they all wrote in proximal origin that the virus was almost certainly not a laboratory construct. That paper was then used by the government and the media and you to discredit Americans who were asking the same questions that you and the authors were asking yourselves privately. You even cited proximal origin from the White House podium. You held it out as evidence that the virus could not have been engineered, but you didn't disclose your role in the discussions that preceded the writing of the paper. You did not disclose the author's original concerns. You did not reveal that you had been part of the paper, that you had read and offered editorial comments on the paper before it was published, before you began using it as evidence that it couldn't have originated in the lab. You did not disclose that you had immediately investigated yourself whether NIAID funding might be connected to the research. You did not tell the American people the full story. Duly released private messages indicate that the doubts with the authors and others didn't disappear after the publication. So while this was being waved at the White House to show that it couldn't come from the lab, the authors were still privately continuing to assign a meaningful probability to a laboratory origin, one thing in public and another in private. Some of the same scientists discussed avoiding email and carefully managing communications that might eventually be obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. The pattern is straightforward. Privately, there was alarm, then an immediate inquiry to see if NIAID's possible exposure to funding, then a rapid public declaration of certainty, continued private doubt, and then years of resistance to disclosure. The question is why? The only logical answer is that your primary concern was avoiding culpability. Your primary concern was hiding the fact that you had approved the funding for this dangerous research. Your support of gain-of-function research is extensive and long-standing. In 2011, your agency funded Ron Fauci's laboratory when it mutated the avian flu until it could spread through the air between mammals. This was the tipping point. This is when others became worried. You funded this. You advocated for this. The federal government's own biosecurity board, though, recommended withholding the details of these experiments because of the danger the research posed. People were concerned that publishing it was publishing a roadmap to creating bioweapons around the world. But you sided with the gain-of-function scientist Fauci and argued that the benefits of publishing the research far outweighed the risks. You defended this avian flu transmissibility experiments as critical research. You wrote that even if a scientist became infected and triggered a pandemic, the benefits of the gain-of-function experiments outweighed the risk. In 2014, your agency, NIAID, began funding the Wuhan bat coronavirus work. In 2015, Ralph Barrick and the Chinese scientist Shi Zhengli published NIAID-supported research combining a bat coronavirus spike protein with a SARS backbone. The resulting virus could infect human airway cells. It's a novel virus that now can infect human cells. It gained transmissibility. It gained function. In 2018, the same group of scientists, EcoHealth, Barrick, Shi, and their collaborators submitted the diffuse proposal, which involved the insertion of a furin cleavage site into the coronavirus. DARPA rejected it as too dangerous. When COVID was sequenced, though, early on in January of 2020, within days, scientists discovered that, lo and behold, it had a novel furin cleavage site, just as had been proposed in the diffuse project. This was either an extraordinary coincidence or a smoking gun, evidence that the Chinese had created COVID-19. It made the laboratory origin question more legitimate, and it made your categorical public denials indefensible. On May 11th, 2021, you told the Senate the NIH has never, ever, and does not now fund gain-of-function research in Wuhan, in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. When I gave you the opportunity to correct the record, to reconsider the statement, you responded that you had never before lied to Congress. We were then told that only the government's narrowest regulation of definition counted here, that you could define gain of function in one way in which this wasn't gain of function, in which all of the common sense of the world would be thrown out, all of the idea that the mice were dying and the virus was more transmissible didn't matter because you had a technical definition that allowed you to fund it. But the real question is, was it dangerous? Was it a wise decision to fund this? And you haven't deviated from that. You've never admitted that it could have been a mistake funding this research in China. The American people weren't asking for a semantics debate over what is gain of function. They were asking, does common sense say this research was dangerous in Wuhan? They wanted to know whether their money-funded experiments in Wuhan that made bat coronaviruses better able to infect humans. The answer is yes. They wanted to know whether NIAID adequately supervised their work. The answer is no. When you defended this research, you described its benefits in the broadest terms. But when Congress demanded accountability, you hid behind the narrowest possible definition. You can't have it both ways. Your conduct concerning federal records raises further questions. It is a crime to destroy federal records. Yet our investigation reveals your assistant diligently reported that she deleted tons of emails. In 2024, you testified that you did not delete federal records. Who's telling the truth, you or your assistant? The committee has obtained repeated instructions from you telling federal officials to delete communications. On February 2nd, 2020, one day after Origin's call, you told Francis Collins, please delete this email after you read it. The committee asked for your voluntary cooperation to come today. Your appearance had to be compelled by subpoena. You're here today under duress. You're here today because of the court ordering it. President Biden issued you a sweeping pardon extending back to 2014, the same pardon he gave to his son Hunter. A pardon may protect a person from criminal prosecution, doesn't rewrite history. It does not erase documents. It does not convert a misleading statement into a truthful one. And it does not prevent Congress from establishing what happened. There will be another pandemic. There will be another crisis. And there will again be officials who insist that uncertainty must be hidden for the public's own good. They will demand obedience. They will invoke science. I am the science, as though it were a commandment. They will argue that government officials cannot be questioned because questioning them would undermine public trust. They have it backwards. It is secrecy that destroys trust. It is arrogance that destroys trust. It is censorship that destroys trust. And it is the refusal to admit error that destroys trust. That loss of trust may be your most damaging legacy. Trust can't be ordered. It has to be earned. No scientist is above scrutiny. No government official is beyond accountability. And no public servant has the right to treat the suffering of millions of Americans as a footnote to his preferred version of history. I now recognize Senator Peters for his...
Okay, we're not going to listen to that one. I've got one last clip before we have the close where they basically put Fauci in contempt of Congress. Let's go ahead and play this one. I guess this is Holly from Missouri. People like it, so let's play it, see where it goes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And you were
never mind. We already heard him. I thought it was somebody else, so we're good on that one. So that takes us to the final statement on this one. Holy cow, let me get to it, and we'll get to your neck. Let me finish this part off if I could. Here we go. Let's play it. This is Fauci officially being put in contempt of Congress.
I'm going to give you one more opportunity to comply with the law, limited to the period of your pardon. At any point between January 1st, 2014 and January 19th, 2025, did you destroy any federal record or tell anyone else to?
Under the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
given that you have a unlimited presidential pardon, what is your specific objection that you are making?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
My question was limited to the period of your pardon only. I find your objection unsupported and direct you to answer the question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Because you refuse to answer, citing a privilege that is unsupported because of your pardon, and after being denied to do so, this committee has scheduled a vote next week on a resolution certifying your contempt.
There we go. So they have one more week before they go on vacation. Yes, Nick.
I mean, it's pretty funny, Thomas. He's doing the fifth against Rand Paul. It's pretty funny, I would say.
Yeah, it's a doozy, I guess we could say, for that matter. What a fucking mess, honestly. But I know I did get a video here from someone in the show who I said thank you to and everything. So I want to go ahead. This is a clip from YouTube. This is Elizondo with. Okay, this is 2 months ago, but you know what? This is Lou Elizondo with Representative Tim Burchett talking about the deep state trying to prevent disclosure from happening, which I think is playing out in real time, except it's not Congress who's fighting for it. It's frickin' the White House itself. So let's play this clip. Here we go.
And that's why I would warn people about some of these photos that are videos. They're pretty apparent that they're not a UFO or a UAP, and they're putting those out there to kind of cloud things, and they're putting out disinformation. It's departments. I told the president, it's like peeling back the layers of the onion, but there's the one thing that they're underestimating is Donald J. Trump, because he's a bull in the china shop, and he doesn't care. He doesn't owe the war pimps at the Pentagon a dadgum thing. Everybody tries to shut him down, and that's when he's at its best. And that's when America's at its best, frankly. I have a hard time with a federal government that thinks that they're so arrogant that Americans can't handle what's going on with this. It's time for them to pull the curtain back and let us see what's going on.
So Lou, explain this to me, because you've had the pleasure of seeing some of the documents that we want to get access to. And
so there we go in that one little piece there. I appreciate that. Clip that was shared from our audience. No, we don't want that. No. Getting back to disclosure, some things that are going on. Still a lot of fallout happening with the whole Gerb news stuff that, Gerb against Lou. And there's a lot of people talking about it. Coming from that UFO podcast, I've watched this stuff here and there. I know a lot of our friends in the UK do. A lot of division going on, rather than folks just being able to disagree, or debate. It's okay to not know, not be sure, or get something wrong. Some seem to struggle that if you don't agree with them or know what they presume to know, then you're the problem. I guess we're just talking about a lot of the people out there in social media, Mike, and even on X and stuff. And I haven't seen how Pavel's gone towards this, but I don't think it's in a positive tone.
No, I wouldn't imagine anything that he would put out to cover this is going to be in a positive tone.
And it actually puts the UFO podcast in a place, because he does a lot of work with Pavel on a regular basis.
Andy McGrillen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Andy's off in Scotland. I didn't think that they had that much in common.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they have a combined podcast on like Friday afternoons or so. I think it starts around 2 p.m., 1 p.m. Pacific time, probably around 3 or 4 o'clock your time.
Well, if that's true, that doesn't sound good to me.
Yeah. Here's the next piece. How do you destroy UFO disclosure movement? By pitting one group against another group? SIA personnel can emphasize the difference and create a rift between the groups. I've got to wonder, we know Lou, I got to wonder if unknowingly the Gerb has been set up in a PSYOP. And Ross as well, for that matter. They're going along, willingly.
They're going along willingly, in my opinion, to the simple fact that Gerb believes that the information that he was given is legitimate. But then when we heard Lou explain that he turned around and met Gerb and gave him his personal number and told her, if you have any questions about anything, call me. Now, he didn't do it, but instead he started putting out garbage about and against Lou.
Yeah.
So whose fault is that? Not Lou's.
Right. And it turns into what we're seeing. We're getting the groups of we and they, like we're seeing over on X with the trolls and all that kind of horrible stuff going on. Something we like to stay to the side of. Loss of group cohesion weakens the resolve of the target audience. Yeah, it's coming from the, PSYOPs field manual. But then again, you've got, who is it? Susan Goff. Doesn't she have a degree in disinformation?
She does. She got that when she was a colonel in the
Thank
Army.
you for that super chat, my friend. I appreciate it greatly. Holy cow. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We try to do our best here. Fan-funded program, and we're not perfect. No. Yeah, we get a little slosh here and there with national security, but what do you expect? It's it's the Disclosure Tonight Bar and Grill. I've got to get a picture of the Disclosure Tonight Bar and Grill in that 50s Art Deco kind of a picture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At night with the old cars pulled up, maybe.
Yeah. We could figure something out and get it up for the background.
Yeah.
Especially as we wind on in the end of the show. That would be nice.
All the black cars.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's in the we group kind of a thing. Yeah, that gets there. So yes, okay, we got the Fauci shit. Is there anything else going on here? Yes, Tim. Yes, Nick. Go ahead.
That Eric Burlison post.
We already went over it. You weren't paying attention, were you?
I did.
Yeah, we did, and we actually covered that yesterday. Hold on. For those who don't like to read as much as I do, I like reading. That's okay. Let's get to downloads, and I think the Lulu thing here. We got that stuff. I've got the Seattle mayor shit. That's a fucking mess. The Burleson one with News Nation. Oh, and I didn't download it. I played it live. What? Where'd you find all those?
I mean, it's Twitter post.
Who's been hiding them there, Mocha? Here, let me show the audience. We found the husky. Apparently, she likes to hoard her treats. All these different treats that were there were all taken and shoved down into the couch in the kitchen. But wait, there's more. The living room. But wait, there's more. There's one bigger one, too. All of them. So she hasn't been eating them, and she's not hungry because she hasn't been eating them. She strips off the outer layer. Mocha.
Right. You need to buy her the softer stuff for her to eat.
Yes.
It's too hard. Like my dog, he won't eat the hard bones.
Yeah, I know there's the other, what do you call it, rawhide bones that apparently aren't good to it, but she goes fucking crazy on those. She loves those.
No, yeah, that's not good for your dog.
Yeah, what you need to do, you need to take this back to Costco and say, this is what my dog does with your treats. They suck.
But beef, what are they, tenderloin? Is it tenderloin?
We'll figure that
tendon,
out, yeah.
Beef tendon. Ferrari seems to eat pretty good on that.
Beef tendon stuff, anything. Okay, Fauci. Oh, yeah, that is true. What's going to go on with... what did he mean by this? Oh, that's bombshells. I guess with Lou moving to... what do you call it? With Lou moving to... DC, what the hell is going to happen with bombshells? Didn't you want to have a survey? No, we already had the survey, Daryl. That's right. What will happen to bombshells? That sounds like a good survey.
Will his wife stay there and run it?
No.
Unlike Lou's moving to DC?
Yes.
Jeez,
Nick, you were...
man.
Wait a minute. I know you were kind of off to the left, off out there for a bit. But didn't you watch the start of the show?
No, that's not what it's called.
Oh, you were watching the other windows that were going on.
Disclosure happened in everything. We told everybody about it.
I don't think we want to know what Nick was watching, do we?
No, like I was watching TikToks about food videos. All the food videos.
Okay,
TikToks about food videos. Okay.
Yeah, what people are eating, not necessarily food. So we get it.
Mom, close the door. I'm watching TikTok videos about food again.
Oh my God! Oh, we got the retard of the month. Yes, but I actually have to think the retard of the month has to be the mayor of Seattle. Oh my God, what a mess. We got Lou there going on. Anything else? No, got Huskies. Oh, poor dog. What did they do to it to do that?
Just woke up Ferrari.
Emails, texts, letters of myself, my wife, my 3 daughters. There have been credible death threats leading to the arrests of 2 individuals. And credible death threats mean someone who clearly was on their way to kill me. And it's required my having protective services essentially all the time. It is very troublesome to me. It is much more troublesome because they've involved my wife and my 3 daughters.
At these moments, how do you feel?
Oh, it's fucking Debbie Dingle. You know, she always wears double turtlenecks all times of the year.
I thought you say double eyelashes.
No, she puts on her eyelashes where her eyebrows would go, and then she puts on really dark eyeliner.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your mic on.
Terrible.
How do you feel? Keep your mic on.
Terrible.
Do you continue to receive threats today?
Yes, I do. Every time someone gets up and says I'm responsible for the death of people throughout the world, the death threats go up.
Oh, my God.
Emails, texts, letters.
We got to go find this guy in the video. He goes, if he was doing that during the entire fucking
that's real,
hearing.
Dude.
What?
I don't think it's. I don't think that's real. I was at least the Fauci's lips were not matching the audio.
My 3 daughters. There have been credible death threats leading to the arrests.
Either way, I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, come on. That guy deserves a fucking super down. Yes, if I could, I will. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I did do a post on today. News Nation said UAP researcher UAP-Gerb explains how the legacy programs operates as its own entity without any oversight, liking it to a breakaway civilization. Watch the full episode on Reality Check, and I'm like, shame on News Nation. Shame.
Yeah.
No, I don't got it wrong. Fuck 'em. Anything else? Everyone's still reporting on Lou. I mean, I really hope no one's taking it seriously. No, you should take Lou seriously. Forget about the Clintons. Everything else, it's all quiet. Well, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else happening right now in UFO land, and it seems quiet. I mean, really fucking quiet. I mean, you got people going after, Anaplina Luna. There you go. And aliens, and she made promises. Something big is coming. Is that something big, Lou Elizondo? I don't know.
Is that her Charlie's Angels picture? What is that?
No, it's someone made her look like she was from Charlie's Angels. It's AI.
That AI.
Yeah. All right. Fauci hearing, everything following. No. More of wonderful stuff. Great dogs. Yeah, I think, well, no, missing teenager. Nothing even funny going on tonight. What the hell's wrong with X at this point? Holy shit. The dogs are barking. Remember when Lou almost died? They almost killed him once. He survived. All right. This is a clip from Lou Elizondo. No. He asked that he was in the legacy program. Yeah, it's called Not Going to Prison.
Were you ever or are you part of the legacy program?
Well, I worked with Jim Clapper. Actually, I worked for Jim Clapper, as a lot of people know, when he was Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence, after he was the director there at DIA, but before he was the Director of National Intelligence. And I can't speak for Jim. He would have to answer that to you. But what I'll tell you, at least when I spoke to him, he was very happy and that we had a UAP program in the department. Now that doesn't mean anything. If you ask him now, he may be think otherwise. But that's certainly up to former Director Clapper.
Were you?
So yeah, I mean, he always tries to answer the question as much as he can. So we got to give him that. Fauci's a weasel.
Bill, I'm not sure that an exchange like that is very helpful to the American.
God, he's still alive. Isn't O'Reilly like old as God? It's Mr. Smithers from The Simpsons.
It looks like he gave birth to one of those turtles.
No, it looks like he's the father of the mayor of Seattle with that forehead.
Oh yeah, well,
yeah, or 10 head as they call her now.
But MS Now is warning that Fauci pleading the fifth is setting the playbook for Trump officials in the future as if they're the same thing. What do you think about that?
Well, I hate to say this about an 85-year-old man who was in public service for 35 years, but Dr. Fauci's a weasel. And the reason I say that is because he's purely a swamp creature. Purely somebody who uses his position to try to advance himself. He actually did look at the carpet when Holly asked him about the carpet. He went like this, but it was the instructions were: look, you got the blanket pardon from President Biden. If you go away from that, if you deviate out of the fifth, they can make it a lot easier to bring you in on contempt of Congress and other charges. So no matter what they do, you just say Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. Okay, that's his right to do it. But the damage that he did to the nation, particularly children, is so immense that anybody, and I mean anybody, any party, any person supporting this Fauci should be ashamed. And let me give you one very stark example. So very early on, the European nations recognized that COVID was not easily spread among children. Mm-hmm. So they didn't shut the schools down over there. And they're a liberal continent, and they allowed the kids to go to school. Fauci knew all that information. He had it all. Yet he was one of the drivers in not having American children go to school, which damaged them in a way that I don't think will ever be repaired for some of them. So when you get to that level, and the Biden people knew what Fauci did, which is why he got the pardon.
Right.
I mean, they knew. I don't think that Biden signed the pardon, and they might go in that way. I think it was an auto pen deal. At that point in his administration, Biden was not able to function on a day-to-day basis. That's just a guess on my part.
Yeah.
But Fauci is the ultimate swamp thing.
Indeed,
and
he
everybody
is.
Should know it.
Yeah, 100%. But, the thing that Americans hate about Washington, D.C. is that there's a lack of accountability for people like Fauci, who at the time we could see, as in your words, was being a weasel. And now we really know it, given the publishing of his diaries, where he's saying one thing in those and saying publicly that the American people need to be very scared, that the death rate was higher, et cetera, contradicting himself in terms of what he was telling people to push policies like keeping the schools closed, for example. So is there any accountability at all for him, for the American people, for generations that were destroyed by his decisions? I mean, is there a way that state attorney generals could look into potential criminality here, or does it really hinge on whether this auto pen pardon by President Biden holds together for him?
It'd be hard for the states to go after him, and I don't think many will, because the presidential pardon is sacrosanct and overrides any state issues. The thing that offends me, second to the children deal, is that Fauci knew that the National Institute of Health was funneling money into the Wuhan lab. He knew that. I mean, and the money was $660,000. It was big money. And it was going in there in partnership with the Chinese, who shut everything down in Wuhan, by the way. We're never going to get information about Wuhan, ever.
Yeah.
So the Chinese shut it all down. But Fauci knew, had to know,
of course he
that
knew
this kind of money was going into for quote unquote research. The research turned into weaponization, biological warfare. Okay, we have a disease here that we can use to decimate people. And so we're going to study how to do that. That's what they were doing.
Yep.
That's it. There's no other explanation. At the same time, Fauci is saying, I don't know, it's two bats in a cave someplace exchanging
That's how
fluids.
one ate at a wet market. Like made its way to a market that then somebody ate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess. And we're past it all, thank God.
And Bill O'Reilly has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because a federal pardon only will pardon you for federal crimes. That doesn't apply to the states or civil or congressional investigations.
Yep.
So 5G is still liable with those with state investigation and civil lawsuits. So if he admits anything publicly, he could be held accountable for it outside of federal court.
Well, they should pull him in.
Yeah, but as we heard, he's not talking to anybody about anything. He pleads the fifth.
Yeah, Jay, your hands up.
Yeah, I actually had a question for Mike.
Yeah, what's up, Jay?
Can't he also be liable in the International Criminal Court for war crimes against biological weapons research?
Yes, because the federal pardon only applies to the United States, Jay.
Well, exactly. The
so we can do that as well.
Right, and the federal pardon is only there for if it was the federal government coming after him, but that doesn't go ahead and give any kind of grace or leeway to a particular state that would want to go ahead and have a lawsuit against him. It doesn't protect him from that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something we've wanted to cover. It's something we couldn't go ahead and cover back then when the shit was going on with my family, with me. If we talked about it, they would have shut the channel down.
Yeah, that's the worst censorship in the world right there, Thomas.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, my friend. All right. Yeah.
Robert Malone, if you remember from back then.
Well, Robert Malone is the doctor who actually invented mRNA type vaccine or type treatments. I'm not going to call it a vaccine because it's not a vaccine.
No. But when he came out to speak publicly against this back in 2020, every show he popped on, they immediately shut down. And they prevented him from speaking publicly about what he wanted to say against this vaccine. Yeah. That's really unbelievable censorship, like right out of China.
That's what you call an authoritarian government?
Yeah.
Where they control free speech, and you can't say it because if you say it, it could incite fear or whatever, a panic, and you can't talk about stuff like that. Wait, that's the United Kingdom right now. They've got that. Oh, you might have offended someone by what you've said.
Right. Yeah. And they wanted to have it initially as voluntary. But then the Biden administration said, no, if we do it like that, no one's going to take the damn thing. So let's tell everybody that if you want to continue to work and get a paycheck, you have to take it, which they did, and forced people who normally would never have gone near this to take it.
Yeah.
Which I think, should be criminal.
Yeah. But then we've started finding out about all the other vaccines and the research that hasn't been done and the other things that could potentially be coming out of it and all the whole money that's being made out of it at the risk of freaking civilization. It's sad.
It really is. Yeah. And what happened was awful. Yeah. There was, on the record, over 1.2 million people who lost their lives in the United States for this.
Yeah.
And the estimates worldwide were closer to between 15 and 18 million.
Yeah. However, I will say one thing. The MMR vaccine is good for something. If you get warts, you got a bunch of warts all over the place, you can't get rid of it. If you go ahead and get an MMR vaccine injected into the warts, a couple times each as they go around. Yeah, it's kind of painful. All your warts will literally be gone in about 6 to 8 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, and you will never, ever have warts again for the rest of your life, period. I had warts on on both of my hands, going around my fingernails, cracking and bleeding. It was fucking painful as shit. Trying to get off of the acid mic, trying to get rid of a whole bunch of different stuff, and nothing the fuck worked. And that was the research I found. If I could ever find that woman's name again, she called herself the Wart Queen. She was a researcher out of, I think it was Atlanta, and I know it was in Georgia. And she discovered if you actually just took the mumps vaccine and injected into it, your body actually learned to recognize the warts as a foreign body, and you would never get. It causes a immune reaction. It works, but it's not mainstream science. But it's one point where you can use some certain stuff that they have for off-label uses, and it can be useful, but not just saying everything is useful or it's all bad, but there are some things that there are positive outcomes that come on it.
Yeah, like ivermectin that they were trying to use during the pandemic.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, Alice, last question before we pull the plug.
Yeah, hi. I was frightened into taking the vaccine.
You know, everybody was.
Comorbidities. I wonder how you guys, were you strong enough? Was your body strong enough?
I had plenty of health problems and everything else, but I got it when it first came around. So if I already had it, why would I go ahead and get the shot again? I was stuck with long COVID for 2 years, like from 2020 well into 2022.
What made other people not get it? If were they just feeling good about their own body's ability?
Who trusts the government? Especially something that they came up with so quick and there was no research on and everything. It just comes down to how some people saw it and it was like, fuck no, I ain't going to go down that route.
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah, when
when
COVID happened, I'm sorry.
Good. When I first got the shot, and I asked them to do a test to see what my level of immunity was from the shot, and it was like, I don't know, 900. And I said, well, what's normal? And they're like 11,000. So the first shot I got really didn't even give me much immunity
and the second one,
at all.
It really doesn't even give you immunity. It didn't even stop people from getting it. All it did was give you a DNA-based COVID infection in your body that destroyed you from the inside out.
Yeah, makes me feel bad now.
That's okay.
Yeah, because when COVID happened, my wife, everybody in the house had it, except for me. And the crazy thing was, me and my wife be sleeping in the same bed.
Were you smoking cigarettes back then?
Was I smoking cigarettes back then?
Yeah.
I think I was.
Okay.
Yeah, smokers weren't getting it.
Right? That's right. Nicotine had an effect on the body.
Yeah. So I ain't get it. My wife got it twice. And I still ain't get it. And I did get the shot one time, and that was it. But no side effects.
You may have just a naturally strong immune system that isn't affected by it. That's killer. Not killer, but you know what I mean.
Wrong choice of word.
All right. I got some business I need to go ahead and do here. Thank you, Vera. Michael Drew, your hand is up. Is Mom still awake, or did she pass out already? Michael, your hand's up. All right. On that note, Mike.
Mom's still awake.
Good night, Mom. Good night, Mom. You should be in bed already. You're 97.
I'm on now?
Yeah, we got you.
What? You got me?
We got you.
Mom's still awake. Okay.
You're 97.
Okay, one question I had about the COVID. The question was about the blood type.
I don't know my blood type.
I understand people with type O blood type were not prone to get it. I had blood type O, and Mom had type O. We never got it.
Oh, wow. Interesting. You know, it could have been, God, we didn't even, I have a screenshot I sent to Daryl earlier today. It was from the whole Fauci thing. Let's see if I can find this one. Probably not, because it's on my other device. I'm not going to have it. All right. Oh, that's not it. No, here
Maybe
we
an
go.
interesting poll to do.
Really quick here. So, Dr. Fauci used taxpayers to send transgenic mice. Let me bring this one up here really quick. Here we go. Transgenic mice. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Transgenic mice that contain body parts of aborted 5-month-old babies to China. And they jokingly called it a BLT sandwich. Remember what the BLT stood for, Daryl? No. Yeah.
Thomas, that would be the bacon in my mouth and the lettuce and tomato.
And oh, wait a second. Oh, I got to do this. It's here somewhere. I know. This got to be from pictures. Come on, bring it up. God damn it.
I think more people eat during this show than any other show on the planet.
Where's it at? God damn it. I got this, and I got file, open recent. Open recent. We're talking about those missing body parts. There's the little baby arm cutting out of Ross's nose.
I'm trying to eat.
And it's pointing at something.
My food, apparently.
All right. I thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. Yeah, we're there. It's been a long day. Let's go ahead and find out. We got some super chats in from the audience tonight. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Holy cow. Let's go ahead and bring them up one at a time. All right. We got one from Shogun, Shogun. What's the it's two from Blazing Saddles. Daryl is here. Thank you very much. On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to eat the food based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution, but I think he adopted the food anyway.
Barbecue pork and sweet corn.
There we go. Sam says, I feel your pain, Thomas. My brother died 5 weeks ago. He was the one who took 3 boosters. I can't prove it, but them, I'm sure it was. Others on this show have also lost loved ones from that shit. Peggy and Steve, thank you very much for that super chat. One from Steve Mateo, great show. And also Badger, Grammarly, thank you very much for the wonderful super chats. We're a fan-funded program. I really appreciate what you love and do. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what the heck you waiting for? We're having a good time. And yeah, there's been some Lou haters who unsubscribe, but you know what? Lighten the load. It's a good thing. And as we usually, Mike, I want to appreciate, thanks for coming out tonight, my friend.
Oh, always, Thomas. You know, it was a hell of a show tonight. Really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah.
Good job.
Same here. Where the fuck did I put it? There we go. And Mike, as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody. But
go back to Party City.
Absolutely. We'll catch you on the flip side. See you soon, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye.